Ladies and gentlemen, welcome into the Laying It Down podcast where we talk about all things wrestling. Today we have the one and only TikTok content creator, professional wrestler, and fellow New Yorker. We have the one and only Justin Booker. Welcome in.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
So for those that don't know who Justin is, he is a TikTok content creator who I've gotten to know. I think I've known you for a little bit now, probably like a few years. Time flies so freaking fast on this app, man.
Yeah, it do. It really do.
So for everybody watching, I've known Justin for a while now. We followed each other's content for I think about a year or so, and he makes some pretty good TikTok videos. The whole goal of this video is to get to know Justin. We're going to talk about things such as his TikTok creation journey. We're going to talk about his professional wrestling career and how he got started, and his thoughts on a lot of things going on in the wrestling world. So Justin, again, I appreciate you hopping on, and this is going to be a really good conversation tonight. I'm very excited for it.
Thank you. Can't wait.
And if you want to check out Justin's TikToks and socials, check out the description down below. If you have any questions for him in the future, feel free to post in the comments as well. We have some amazing Laying It Down podcast merchandise that you can head over to justlayingdown.com. Will be the place for all of your Just Laying Down merch, whether it's for the Laying It Down podcast, our Twitch stream, our YouTube content, and everything of that nature. Everything wrestling, go check it out. Also want to give a big shout out to one of our companies, BuckedUp, which we are an ambassador for, which is the place to get for all of your workout supplements, such as pre-workouts, BCAAs, and much more, such as protein powders and everything of that nature. Head over to buckedup.com today. Make sure you use code JLD20 for 20% off your order. You can also get a free sampler pack of 3 pre-workouts as well as 1 shaker bottle for the cost of $0.00. All you got to do is pay that shipping and handling. So big shout out to BuckedUp for believing in us and our journey. And like I said before, during this episode, I will be having a combination of questions regarding your content, your TikTok content, wrestling career, and just your thoughts on the wrestling world. If you guys want to watch and ask any questions in the future, make sure you're following us on all our social medias. For Justin, again, I appreciate you hopping on today. What I usually like to do during the podcast is have you introduce yourself, let the people know here who you are, where you're from, and just give a little background of just you as a person and where we could find you too on social media, because I'm sure everybody watching wants to get to know you on a more personal level. So I'm gonna let you go ahead and do that. And for everybody watching, sit back, relax, and enjoy this episode.
All right. So my name is Justin. I'm currently 20 years old from Long Island, New York. You want to find me on my social media. Instagram and TikTok is all I use, at Justin Booker.
And tell us a little bit about you, like your content, like what do you do, like how long, like anything about your wrestling. Let us know a little bit about you.
That's crazy. I've been doing WWE or just wrestling content in general for a good year now. And this past January, that's like when it really started to skyrocket off of a pillow vid, just like the nostalgia and stuff, wrestling with your pillow. And a lot of people was liking that. So I kept it going, but I stopped it. I just brought it back. I stopped because I didn't want to know as a person that's wrestling a pillow, So that's how it really started, just the pillow videos. And I enjoyed it. Other people enjoyed it.
Listen, man, like those videos are hilarious. And we're going to get to those videos in a little bit later on in the episode about like your content and the pillow videos specifically. But listen, we got so many people in the world that are famous for so many different things. We got the Hawk 2 girl. We got all these like politicians famous for like the most wildest reasons in the world. I think everybody's going to be okay. And even at some points, even like we're wrestling their pillows or stuffed animals or whatever back in the day. So listen, you're doing great, man. Like, first of all, congratulations on 25,000 followers. Like, I saw your profile. I'm like, holy shit, this guy is like doing his thing. So big ups on that, bro. But that's really cool, man. I didn't know you were in Long Island as well. Are you from Long Island, or you live in Long Island, or
Long Island, born and raised. Yeah.
What part specifically? I have family in Long Island, but
I'm in Suffolk County.
Okay, so you're deeper down there. Okay, gotcha. For some reason I thought you were in Brooklyn for some reason, but I don't know why. All right. I'm in Queens, and I've been here for like a good 5 years, but I'm originally from like Harlem my whole freaking life. So it's a whole nother world, Queens, versus living in Manhattan your whole life. I saw that you went recently to the Friday Night SmackDown in MSG, June 28th. I was looking through your stuff and I didn't realize how close you were. Like, let's let the chat know, like, what was your experience being that close to the ramp? Because like a lot of people have been to wrestling shows before, but a lot of people don't get that privilege to really be up close and personal, like with those superstars and seeing like how close they are in person. So how was that experience for you?
So personally, the June 28th SmackDown, okay, so certain WWE events, they'll have the ramp more extended and longer to fit more of the crowd. So MSG, obviously, one of the biggest famous arenas in the world. Personally, again, I will never sit on the floor, like right there on the ramp, like far back, just because like the whole time you have people standing, and I just couldn't. But overall, it was a good show. I personally enjoyed it.
Was
It
it
was cool.
that was the same one as I think it was supposed to be Damian Priest versus Jey Uso, but then they switched it out to Finn Balor because he was like his flight got delayed or something like that.
Yeah, the dark matches, Jay versus Finn, and then you had Awesome Truth versus Pretty Deadly.
Oh, I didn't even know about the tag team match. How was that match?
It was cool. Pretty Deadly. They was beating him up the whole time. R-Truth coming 5 moves to do him. Can't see
Oh
me.
my god, you did the John Cena stuff. That was such a good Raw after WrestleMania where like he's like, "Oh, our third tag team partner is someone you can't see," and then all of a sudden, John freaking Cena appears and boom, annihilates everybody. That was such a good moment. But it's nice to see that like the R-Truth is doing his thing still with the John Cena stuff. But that's really cool, man. A lot of people don't get that opportunity to really go to like. Well, a lot of people don't even get to go to shows in general. So like I've actually been seeing a lot on my TikTok live people that are like, "Oh, I'm going to my first Raw, first SmackDown." Even one person was like, "Oh, what should I expect as I go?" And I'm just like, holy snap, there's a lot of fans that have never been. And I guess I don't know if it's because I'm spoiled, you're spoiled, or whatever, but I'm like, people should really take advantage of this. And then even more further, people that are that close, it's like, I'm glad you had a good time. That's really freaking cool. Speaking of that, are you going to the October 25th one as well?
Yeah,
Or are you
going to that one, and I'm gonna go to AEW.
you going to Grand Slam?
Yeah, and then I'm gonna try to go to that holiday tour at MSG in December. I gotta see. I gotta see.
See, I want to go to the October 25th one because it's, Barclays ain't that expensive compared to MSG. So anything Barclays ain't that bad. But I want to save that money towards MSG because I do want to take my dad for Christmas to the show. We've gone every year for like a few years now, since like 2019 minus COVID year. But I do want to surprise him with front row. So I'm trying to save that money and not go to like AEW in October and just go right to December. I've been to a few shows already. I'm not missing much in person.
I say do it, man. That would be a great experience for the both of you. Nice memories.
And if you go to the MSG show, let me know because I think I don't have any shows planned until then. So like, no one's gonna see me until then, unless you're going to Fanatics Fest. Are you going to Fanatics Fest?
August 17th.
You're going Saturday. I think you said that, right? Because Jey Uso, right? You're gonna go see Jey Uso.
Yeah, I'm gonna try to see Bianca too.
Did you buy the tickets yet?
For Jay, yeah, but not Bianca.
Yeah, I think Bianca is still available. I think a few of them are still available right now. Last time I checked with Jey Uso, they were sold out. So like, lucky you got those tickets. Same with like the main guys, like CM Punk, I think is sold out. Rhea Ripley sold out. Cody Rhodes, of course. I'm surprised they have Cody for Sunday because Cody's definitely like a Saturday kind of like thing.
Yeah.
Like, why would you have the champion on the last day when you could have had him on a Saturday where most people are probably gonna be there? That could have been the most bang for your buck. So with the WWE product, what do you think of the current product right now? Is there anything in particular that sticks out to you at the moment with WWE? Anything, maybe something specific to Raw or SmackDown or anything like that, or just in general? Like, what do you like right now of the current WWE product?
Well, currently Monday Night Raw right now, I think the Liv Morgan, Dirty Dom, Rhea, I think that story is going good. Personally, right now on Raw is the YSA, just because like they're coming in, they're a fresh group. Before they didn't have no good creative, but now they're all coming together. Especially this past week on Monday, how they all just unmasked themselves and they just started beating up the Creeds. That was cool. Like, I'm starting to enjoy it. NXT, I really haven't been watching NXT really after Stand and Deliver, to be honest. And SmackDown, I feel like personally for me, I'm really not big on SmackDown right now. I feel like they're just doing like fillers until SummerSlam.
With NXT, I only watch for Joe Hendry. That's literally the only thing, and the whole TNA thing. Like, once they brought in Jordan Grace, that was it. Like, I was like, okay, I got to start watching this. Then they surprised with Joe Hendry, and now they seem to be like kind of sticking with Joe Hendry the whole time. Do you think the Wyatt Six is like the storyline for the Wyatt Six is going at a good pace, or do you think they're going too fast or too slow right now with what they're doing? Like, it took a few weeks until they finally like actually attacked somebody, the Creed brothers. Like, before that, it was Uncle Howdy just kind of showing his face, and Bo Dallas before Uncle Howdy. So do you think it's going too fast, too slow, or just right?
I think they're doing just fine, honestly. I think what they came in June 15th, around that week, I believe so. Honestly, I feel like they're doing great. I don't think they're rushing the story. Week by week, at first, we was getting them VHS tapes, and now they're finally showing week by week. I think that's what we need. Only thing I feel like we just need to see the in-ring. That's it. And then my only, like, after the Gable and Creed brothers, like, what's next? That's my big.
Do you think they should have been at SummerSlam, or do you think they're all right with being on Raw for that match?
I think Raw's fine. I think Raw. I don't think they really had a big build up. I feel like it's 50-50. Honestly, I think I'm fine with Raw. It could have been on either or, but I feel like Raw is just.
I agree with the buildup because, like, yeah, they basically started off with killing Chad Gable, and then like now he's got the Creed brothers for his backup and everything like that. But I personally think it's fine on Raw. A lot of people are like, oh, why is this not on SummerSlam? It's the Wyatt Six, and I get it. The Wyatt Six is a tribute to Bray Wyatt, especially with Bo Dallas being Uncle Howdy. But just because of that doesn't mean everything has to be on the pay-per-view. I think it's fine with Raw. One thing I will say that should have been on SummerSlam though was the tag team titles for the DIY versus the Bloodline happening later this week. Like, if you really wanted to build that storyline that Solo's trying to talk about of like, oh, we're taking all the belts back to the Bloodline, like, y'all could have had the opening match with the tag titles, put one hell of a show for that match. If they are winning, if that's the case, then at least that anticipates if Solo's gonna win during his match at the main event with Cody Rhodes. I think they could have at least done that, but I feel like that's been a pattern lately with they've been doing championship matches the day before the PLE because they do it in the same city anyway. They never used to do that before. So it's like interesting how now, but it makes sense, I guess, from like a cost perspective. Everything's in the same arena. And you said, and so next question, actually. So you mentioned Liv and Dom. You like that storyline right now. You think Raw is doing better right now than SmackDown. What do you like about Liv and Dom?
As of right now, personally, this is me. I feel like I know we're definitely getting a judgment. I feel like a Judgment Day breakup is happening soon. I would say so. We all see Priest becoming face. And Finn Balor, it looked like Finn planting seeds too, because like a couple weeks ago, like I'm saying, like back last month in June, you see you'll see Finn and Liv. It was a segment with them leaving the car, then there was another segment they was leaving the parking lot. So I feel like with that, I have a feeling this is not. It's just a feeling. I have a feeling that Rhea will get kicked out of Judgment Day.
Oh,
Look,
Rhea. Okay.
it would say it sound dumb and all. I have a feeling Dom is gonna cause Rhea the match. He's gonna go with Liv, and then Finn is gonna go with Liv, and then it's gonna be them and JD because he's part of them, and maybe Carlito, and then we're gonna have Rhea do her own. Well, Priest is already gonna do his own thing. It's becoming that already been happening, and Rhea, we're gonna see what happens there. I definitely see them two just leaving the group.
I already call it. Liv and Dom are gonna be a thing. Dominic's gonna betray Rhea. Dominic's gonna do that whole steel chair thing that he did with Becky and Zelina, and then but Rhea's gonna ask for the chair, and then all of a sudden Dom's gonna be like,
hesitant,
no,
yeah.
nah, like I'm helping my new mommy Liv or something like that. I personally think Damian Priest is already a babyface. I feel like as he's been champion longer and longer, and now with like Gunther being the heel now, calling him street trash, at this point I think Damian Priest is already a baby face in some way. Did you also notice that when they tore down the clubhouse, when Liv Morgan like defaced everything, there was pictures that Finn Balor's face was the only one that was not defaced with spray paint?
Oh, I didn't even see that. I did not peep that.
So if you look at the Monday Night Raw clips, like that, you know, that segment from Monday Night Raw where like they're like, oh, Dominic's like, who could do such a thing? And Rhea's like, dummy, Liv Morgan, duh, you just broke up with her. But if you look at like, there's like a flag of all four of them from the Judgment Day. Mm-hmm. Finn's is the only one that doesn't have like the X's on the eyes or like some kind of spray paint all over. So I think they did that on purpose.
Carlito with the PS5, that's the only like thing I can remember from that.
He is becoming the next R-Truth in terms of comedic relief. Do you agree with that statement?
I agree with that 100%.
Because Rhea's like, oh, what is he doing here? They ask it every week. Like, even before she asks it, I'm like, watch Rhea ask, like, what is Carlito doing here? Like, I get it. You left the LWO, but there's not much here else doing in the Judgment Day. So I don't know why you here. With the whole breakup of the Judgment Day happening, do you think Carlito could have more of a main role in that? Kind of like how JD McDonough walked through the ranks and eventually became a member of the Judgment Day despite R-Truth saying he's not.
I don't think so. I feel like he would just be there, like how he was in LWO, he was just there. I feel like it's just going to be the same thing. Like, he's just going to be there, just play that role.
Do you like his theme song right now, or do you like the old one? Or do you remember the old one?
I like the old one.
I don't know why they changed it. They Def Rebelled his freaking song.
That's the thing. What's up with Def Rebel? Like, I've been seeing so many memes of people just like bashing them about the theme songs.
And it's funny because Roman Reigns' theme song right now is actually from Def Rebel. Something must have happened in between like then and now that now all the songs now are like weird compared to back then.
DIY theme song.
Now everything has like a little saying before like the music starts.
I
Damien is
know.
all rise. Tiffany Stratton is it's Tiffy time. DIY is we are. No, we don't want that. I always laugh with people when I'm on live because I'm like, if they Def Rebel Roman's theme song again, it'll be like the tribal chief, and then it'll start some random like version of like his current theme song. And if that happens, I'm gonna be pissed the hell off.
Yeah.
Or like his spear with the ooh ah. I could see that as the beginning of the theme song if he gets Def Rebeled again. SummerSlam is this Saturday. I want to know your predictions. There are 7 matches at the moment. 6 of them are championship matches, with one of them being the special guest referee match that everybody is looking forward to. So one of the things that I wanted to ask you today is, what are your predictions for SummerSlam?
Okay, so I believe the first match I can think of off rip is, like you just said, special guest referee one. I feel like that's a disqualification. I feel like Seth gonna get bumped, ref gonna come down. I feel like I don't know, something's gonna happen. That match will not end clean. I know that for a fact. I don't know exactly who's gonna win, but like I said, I feel like it would be like a DQ.
And Seth Rollins was saying too, like he may disqualify, he may not. It's making me feel like he's not gonna go by the traditional rules of refereeing. He's gonna let things slide.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, definitely a dirty match. Definitely gonna. We have Nia Jax versus Bayley, I believe.
Yeah,
I see that. Tiffany gonna try to cash in. She's gonna walk out women's champ tomorrow. Saturday night. She's gonna walk out women's champ. I believe it.
You think Nia Jax is gonna get the title?
Yeah, Nia Jax gonna beat Bayley, and then Tiff is gonna cash in on her. Probably hit her with the briefcase a couple times.
So you think she's gonna successfully cash?
Yeah.
Interesting. All right.
Can't have too many fail. They already did it, but with Drew. I don't see them doing it with Tiff.
I was so mad about that, and you could just imagine me live watching that, like seeing him go down. Yeah, I was there. So like when they played his music, I was like, if CM Punk comes out, I swear to God. And he freaking did.
What's some other matches he have there?
I have them here. So you did Bayley and Nia Jax, Sami Zayn, Braun Breaker.
Braun.
Yeah.
I think
Logan Paul versus LA Knight.
LA Knight. LA Knight for sure.
LA Knight, I think, is also going. I don't know if you knew, but Logan Paul is expecting a child soon.
Yeah.
So I think that's partially why he might lose the title. And like WWE also has a history of making people lose in their hometown. Like
yeah,
everybody, like it's very rare that people win in their hometown. The only exceptions I've seen is Ethan Page in Canada and Alba Fire, Isla Dawn in Scotland. Those are the only 2 recently that have actually won in their hometown. Everybody else loses. Drew McIntyre, Clash at the Castle, freaking Chelsea Green. And I mean, Chelsea Green's not from Toronto, but she's from Canada. So everybody was like still rooting her on anyway. Plus she's entertaining as hell. That's a whole nother story. We got CM Punk, Drew. We got Sami Zayn, Braun, Logan Paul, LA Knight, Liv and Rhea. We kind of already went over that, but you probably think Liv Morgan, or do you think Rhea is going to get the belt?
I got Liv. Dom's going to help her win that.
It's inevitable. I think it's too early for Liv Morgan's thing anyway, where her reign's a finish. I don't think she's just going to hand it back to Rhea just because Rhea's back. Like they're gonna prolong this storyline just a little bit. It wouldn't make sense for Rhea to win the belt and then everything's back to normal. Then what do they do with Liv? Like, what's the point?
I think that story ends at 41 at Mania. I think that's where it ends.
Okay.
Gonna drag it on. They might take a little break, maybe. Mm-hmm. For some reason, they may. I don't even know, but this is a strong prediction. I think Liv will hold that belt until Mania next year. They're gonna have Rhea probably win the Rumble again for it.
That's not bad. I think that's a good idea. Unless there's somebody else that like comes down the line that like can prove themselves. Do you think Charlotte could have an influence on any changes to that? Because Charlotte is kind of due soon to return.
She's on Monday night, right?
She was on SmackDown.
I don't know. I really don't know yet. Knowing them, they'll definitely put Charlotte in that title picture. It's just Charlotte.
Because I think she has 14 titles now, 14 women's titles. I think she's going up to 15. She's going up to Flair's record. So like, I think she could beat it. Because I don't think they're going to give Cena the 17th title. Who am I missing? Priest and Gunther. What do you think?
I think they'll have Priest win. And then Gunther at the Bash of Berlin at the end of the month in August. That's when I think he'll take it off.
It could be the challenger.
Lose in their hometown in their right backyard. So I don't know. But I feel like Priest is definitely going to win at SummerSlam.
To be fair, Germany is not Gunther's hometown. So they're just going to root for him because he's European, because he's from Austria. But I could see still Gunther winning at Bash in Berlin. That crowd would go insane. I'm looking forward to that crowd too, because the European crowds go insane versus the US crowds. Like, do you notice that? Like, we watch our PLEs and then we go to like the Monday Night Raw in like Omaha, Nebraska, or all these random ass places, and they're just dead.
Yeah, yeah. Then you have like that France crowd at Backlash. Oh my
Bro,
god.
if I could go back to Backlash and watch it for the first time again, I would love to. Same with WrestleMania, but that's a whole nother conversation.
Watch at the Castle too. That crowd was active.
That crowd,
Yeah,
that crowd was good too. Yeah. Last week they were in Dayton, Ohio for Monday Night Raw, and Jey Uso came out. I think he came through the regular stage. I don't think he went through the crowd or anything like that. I like to do the yeet thing in the living room because it's such a catchy song, and I just have to. That's my guy, main event Jey Uso. But that crowd was just standing there during the whole song, and I'm just like, bro, put me in there. I'll make it hyped up. Like, they're freaking bored of this man. Like, he deserved better than that.
Yeah, Mania. I don't know. The crowd, maybe because they were saying night one was cold out in Philly. But that's what a lot of people said. My friends went. They said it was cold. So I was like, but if you yeet real quick, you warm up.
You warm up real quick. Yeah, I agree with that. But I think by the time they got to the Jimmy and Jay match, it was already freezing cold for them. I didn't go to Mania, but I'm personally somebody that gets cold very easily. So I probably would have been freezing by the second hour. Like, forget WrestleMania being 4 or 5 hours. A quarter of the way, a third of the way, and I would have been freezing. I would have been like, yo, get me out of here. Or I need to buy a jacket from the merch store. Give me that last XXL CM Punk jacket. I will wear it. So that way I could warm up, even if everybody else bought it. Last one, obviously. Cody and Solo. What do you think of that?
Cody, guy wrote. My thing is, first off, I'm gonna come back to that. Do we see Jimmy returning, causing the bloodline attack that Friday night? He got to come. I know
that
he's
would
clear.
be good. A lot of people were saying Roman would come back at SmackDown. I think that's a stupid decision because the crowd at SummerSlam would go insane for that versus like a regular SmackDown arena. I think Jimmy Uso would be a nice appetizer, I guess, however you describe it. Nice appetizer for the crowd for SummerSlam, because most of those people at SmackDown are going to SummerSlam. They bought them packages. They spent thousands of dollars on those packages. They ain't going just for the SmackDown. There might be some people, but they're gonna get excited for Jimmy Uso and then go into SummerSlam expecting Roman. Could they cost the Bloodline tag titles? I like the idea. I didn't think of it that way. I thought Jimmy would interfere afterwards, but I think I like the interfering because I think it's too early for Jacob and Tama Tonga to get tag titles now. Like, Jacob just got in. Now he's getting titles already. I mean, AEW does the same shit, so I don't really care. But
Just won the title. I know Johnny's from Cleveland, I believe.
Gargano?
So,
he's from there?
yeah.
Oh, okay. I thought he was from somewhere else, but whatever. I don't pay attention. Most of the wrestlers, I don't pay attention to where they're from, unless like they're obviously like your John Cena's or Mercedes Monets and stuff, where they talk about it 24/7. Do you know anybody that's going to SummerSlam? They just released the meet and greets for them too. I guess for the main four they do meet and greets, and then all the other random pay-per-views they do like they don't do the meet and greets. I thought they were gonna like have something at the Money in the Bank Superstore where you can meet Cody Rhodes or Dominic or something like. They didn't have any of that. But for SummerSlam, they just released today tickets where you can take pictures with a few of the stars. So they have Jey Uso, they had the Undertaker, which was very surprising.
Undertaker.
And then they had Kane, which is like, what the hell's Kane doing there? Like, go be a mayor somewhere. But anyway, they have a combo of Kane and the Undertaker for like, I think it's $350. You take a photo with them. For the both of them, that actually doesn't sound bad because of how long they've been with the business and how famous they actually are. But if you try to charge me $350 for like Jey Uso or even Roman, that's probably a no.
I feel like Roman was that much. Like, if he was to ever do something like that, I think so
too. The $350, it starts to make me wonder if I really need it. $200 would be my max for Roman Reigns if I did that. But $350, unless it's the whole bloodline, if it's like Solo in there, both the Usos, Paul Heyman, hell, throw Sami Zayn in there, then I'll pay the $350 because then you got all the superstars there. But I don't know, for one person that's a lot. But for anybody that's watching this, if you did go to SummerSlam and you bought any of the tickets, let me know how it was in the comments down below. And for everybody that's in here, maybe you're watching midway or whatever, make sure you guys are following my boy Justin on TikTok. The socials will be down below. I appreciate him as always. So that is the SummerSlam predictions. Do you plan on going to WrestleMania, or is that's not in the books right now?
No. I would have to save up probably right now. No, if I go to Mania, I need some decent seats.
Mm-hmm. You can't be last row at these Mania shows anymore. Like, you could probably get away with it when it was back in the day in Madison Square Garden and stuff like that, where it was small arenas. But now, get about it. It's a football stadium.
Yeah, go home and watch it.
So I already have my ticket for the plane and the hotel. Obviously, tickets are not on sale yet for WrestleMania, so I don't have that yet. But the idea is I paid off everything already. So that way, when the tickets do go on sale, if I have to pay an arm and a leg for both nights for 2 people, I can do it on a payment plan. I'm not worried about it too much, but I know I'm going to be spending a good amount or paying for it for a whole year after the show. We'll see how that goes, but I can already expect it to be one of the most expensive WrestleManias of all time, especially being in Las Vegas. There's going to be a lot of people there, guaranteed. All right, so talked about the current product, WWE. One thing usually a lot of people ask when I used to do this live was, who's some of your favorite wrestlers, or maybe like your top favorite wrestler of all time right now, if you had to pick one?
All right, all time. I gotta say Roman. I got to, even though I grew up, we'll get into that probably later on in the podcast. But as of right now, I'm gonna say Roman, greatest of all time.
You heard that? He likes you.
Yeah.
All right, word.
Yeah.
Roman approves. Stuffed Roman approves. Someone in my comments a while ago was like, wait a minute, they still sell Roman Reigns, like they still sell like the WWE stuffed, like I guess you wouldn't call them stuffed animals, but like stuffed dolls or whatever. I was like, yeah, they had a whole bunch of them at the Money in the Bank store. They had Roman, Cody, they had I think they had Macho Man, and they had Hulk Hogan. They had like a few of them, like I think it's 2 legends and 2 like current superstars or whatever like that. For anybody watching, you get there. I think the WWE shop has them too. Cool. So we went over WWE, the current product right now, some of your favorite things about it, and predictions. So we'll shift over a little bit to the content creation part of stuff, and then we'll continue from there. So obviously TikTok is one of your main platforms. I tried to look at your link tree, and a lot of it is related to TikTok. It seems like a lot of your content is posted there. I see your content, you're posting all the time. There's a lot of people that ask me, how do I get into content creation, or like, how do I get into the wrestling space and stuff like that? So I'm going to ask you that question. What is something you tell somebody that's trying to get into the wrestling creation space in terms of like social media and content and posting and stuff like that? Is there anything that you think helped you out on your journey of making TikToks, all that?
The first thing that I would say, when you see, as a wrestling creator, I say, you see a PLE, say SummerSlam's coming up, right? PLE something crazy happened, like Liv and Dom, hop on it, find the perfect sound, make a meme to it or something. Like, I remember this, I'll never forget this, because I still got it. I still got it on my page right now. It was my first video that touched 100K. Nice. And it was actually Jay doing that last SummerSlam. And I was like, oh, okay. Well, he actually did it the Friday night before. So I was like, all right, let me do it. So I did a video that same night. And then after SummerSlam, people seen that video and was like, yo, did he know he was going to do this? Like, something hot or something that's underrated, that can go far, just do it. Stay with your gut. Stay motivated. If other people did it, if I do it, JLD's doing this, you can do it too. That's what I would say. Don't ever give up.
And at the end of the day, like you touch on a good point, is like the reaction time to certain things that happen. And a lot, like I mentioned this to one of my previous guests, Richie Mars. I don't know if you know who Richie Mars is, really good guy. He predicted that Jimmy was going to betray Jay. And he made a video way ahead of time of it and said that this is what's going to happen at SummerSlam. Everybody in his comments was like, oh, what are you talking about? Brothers don't betray each other, blah, blah, blah. It happened. His video went even further because of it, because of the fact that he basically predicted it. And everybody was like, how dare you predict Jimmy Uso's betraying his brother, main event Jey Uso, and all that. There are plenty of media outlets, journalist companies, sports companies that are gonna instantly start posting everything that happens about anything going on in wrestling. Somebody wins a title, they're one of the first people. You look at Instagram, they already posted new champion. WWE themselves, and new, they'll put whatever. If you can be as quick as them, everybody's gonna flock to your videos because they're gonna see how reliable you are on how quick your content is. And then like with the memes and stuff, I like that because I try to make as many memes. I feel like I'm not as creative as I want to be with how fast people make these memes about like R-Truth or Solo, like, DeMarcus with the Fatuing and all that. Like, how you think of that, bro? Like, I wish I could have thought of that. Be consistent, like you said, and I would add to it, there's a lot of people that will make the same stuff. Like, everybody reacts to the same stuff. I react to a video, to a SmackDown clip. Santi's probably doing the same. Weezy's probably doing the same. All these content creators are doing the same thing. But if there's a way you can make it unique to yourself that makes people want to be like, oh shit, let's go see JLD, let's go see Justin.
Yeah.
You got it. You got it. So for everybody watching, listen to Justin, listen to myself as well. Just keep consistent and be consistent with your content. Don't, like, I wouldn't say don't post, but try to get as many people as you can watching your stuff and try to be everywhere. Because one thing people say about me is JLD, you're everywhere. You have to be your biggest fan. So continue into your TikToks, your pillow segment. So you talked about that a little earlier. Your pillow segment be having me dying, especially the 1D. I think that was the first one I ever saw of yours, was the 1D one, because I think we started following each other around like the WrestleMania 39 time. So like last year, 2023. I used to do the same thing as a kid. I used to do the pillow. I used to do the RKOs, and I think I even tried like the sharpshooter for some reason, or whatever random moves I could think of at the time that was going on. The attitude, the F, it's not the attitude adjustment, it's a freaking FU.
Yeah, that's really is, yeah.
So what made you want to do those segments where you're doing like the pillow things? Because that's a very relatable thing for a lot of wrestling fans that used to watch as a kid. Was there any specific TikTok you made that realized that you need to do more of them, or you realized, oh shit, I'm onto something?
Well, it was that one. I was just one day. I don't know if it was like, I think it was January 1st. It was the new year. I'm like, all right, let me think. I got to do something. And then I'm just going through my sounds, and I have that one clip saved of the 1D. I don't know why I had it saved, but it was there. And I'm like, okay, let me do a video like this. And my pillow was there, and I'm like, okay. Well, every wrestling fan has done this once in their life as a little kid or anything. And I just did it, And then that's the one that really took off on my page. I had Instagram, Daquan. He reposted it. I had
yeah? That's awesome.
Yeah, Bleacher Report reported. They posted it on the wrestling page and then on TikTok, their wrestling page also there. And then I just kept going. When Brock Lesnar, championship.
Yeah. Oh my God, that whole thing.
Yeah, bro. I just kept it going with the pillows, and everyone was loving it. And then at the time, started slowing down, and I didn't want to, milk it too much.
It happens.
But yeah, so I had to, I didn't want to be too over happy with it, so I slowed it down for a good 2 months, and I just did it like 2 weeks ago again. So,
dude, you gotta be consistent with it. So like, if you feel like you want to do a pillow video, do a pillow video. Everybody bothers DeMarcus about the Fatuing thing. I look at his comments and people are annoyed at him. I think they're freaking funny, and that he can continue to do it. So I mean, obviously he's not going to do it for like 5 years from now. I mean, maybe he can get away with it. Maybe it's great, but if it's working, it's getting you views, that's how you do it. That's how people make their money on TikTok. That's how people in the creator program do their thing. If you can make your videos 1 minute or longer, and you making 1 million views on one video, that's like a good few $100 or even $1,000 right there. So like, if that's what's getting you the views, as long as no one's getting hurt and nobody's being insulted or disrespected, do it. People love it.
That's the thing too, man. I don't know if you had it, but them pillow vids, I definitely had some comments that people was getting mad, saying like how he kept getting these views off of it. And then I replied, you could do a video reply, right? On TikTok.
Yeah.
So comment up there, and I did another pillow video on purpose just to get that person going.
That's how you do it, man. Like, you can't let these haters get you and like influence. Like, there's no problems with taking consideration from people that support you and love your stuff, but when the haters try to criticize you or tell you how to do something, they're the ones with like 5 followers and no videos on their page. So like, who are they to tell you what kind of content will help you do better? They just looking at the higher like viewed people and think, oh, just follow them. Like, they think they're these experts. You're doing great. So don't ever pay attention to those freaking guys that try to talk shit. I like the pillow videos, but you do, of course, what you enjoy the most. But yeah, keep it up with TikTok. One of the things that I was very surprised about, which I was very happy, was when you advertised that you were going to be in your very first wrestling match, because I didn't know you were trying to be a professional wrestler. And in that scene, I was like, okay, let me find out. That's freaking awesome. And I didn't know you were 20 years old. So like, you're in that age where you're right. Once you go to the gym a little bit more and you training as much as you can, you're going to be at like tip top freaking shape, going for like recruiting and going to these indie shows and stuff like that. So you recently performed in your very first wrestling match back in March of this year. It was a Royal Rumble style match, I think, right?
Yeah.
So how was that experience for you? And was there anything that surprised you as you were in the ring for the first time in front of like your audience? And also, like, a second part to this is, can we find that match on YouTube?
Okay. It's something called IWTV, Independent Wrestling TV. But Person, I think what I'm gonna do is, because I did a tag match too that following next week in March, and
Okay,
that comes out tomorrow on the 1st actually. So my match, I'm gonna just upload it on YouTube, probably just make a new channel and just have all my matches there.
that's good.
But as for the Royal Rumble, it was actually a fun time. I can't lie. You know, I was definitely nervous right behind the curtain. I hear 10, 9. I'm just sitting there. I'm circling, man. I'm just going, I can't do
What
this.
did I do? Why am I here?
Yeah, then beep, and then I'm just sitting there, and it was like entry number 10, and then I delayed it for a minute, and then I got pushed, like someone in the back just pushed me out there, and I was just like, oh. Went in my clothesline, super kick, and yeah, it was cool though. I enjoyed it personally.
I watched it, and like on TikTok when you posted, I was like, oh shit, like look at him, he's doing the super kicks, he's doing the clotheslines. I was like, let me find out this guy's like doing his thing in the ring. So I was freaking hyped about that. Share with me the video if you do get it. I would love to see it. But yeah, I think that's a great idea. What you should do is start making I think you have a YouTube channel already. I don't know if you want to rebrand, if you're going to rebrand that, or just make a new video like channel with like your wrestling persona. Tell us about your persona in the ring. Are you just going just by your name, Justin Booker? Is there like a persona you're trying to portray with your character?
Yeah, I'm gonna go with the full name right now. We're still just like, I'm still working on that stuff as of right now, because the Royal Rumble, you know, it was just like an extra spot, and I'm still new to training.
Yeah.
So my trainer, felt like it was just a good way, you know, take some real bumps with some other people around, do it in front of a live audience, and the same thing with that tag match next week. But we're still working on everything, you know, nothing's set in stone. Everything can change. I want it to be a baby face. That's personally me. I feel like I'll be a great baby face. I don't think no one can hate me.
Yeah.
So yeah, man. So personally, I want to be a baby face right now. I'm gonna use my full name, Justin Booker, and I'm just leave it like that. But anything can happen. Anything can change.
And that's the beauty of going into that and at least learning for the first time, because you could experiment with that. You can try out being a baby face based on your persona, how it goes. And then there's people that may want to see how you are as a heel too. Like see if you can talk shit to the crowd and just make them want to react back. Perfection, I don't know if you've heard of Perfection. He actually commented on your post. When I interviewed him, he said that they tried to make him a baby face, and his whole persona is him being a cocky guy. Like he's very conceited, and he's perfection. Like he has the mirror, he's always checking himself out. They tried him as a baby face and it just didn't work out. And like once they turned him into a heel, it just looked much better for him as a wrestler. So it's good to always check out both. Maybe you might be surprised with what you like or what maybe you didn't expect. But that's really cool, and keep up the great work. How physically demanding is it for those? So like for those that are trying to get into wrestling, how physically demanding is it to do those moves and spots and even just train in general?
Well, personally, I say don't be afraid. It's something new. I hit the gym. Keep that stamina up, because when I first got in there, I'm running the ropes, and the ropes hurt. I don't know if anyone told you, but them ropes hurt. I'm thinking it's like a little ping pong thing. You just bounce, bounce. But them things hurt. When I first hit the ropes, I was like, I was definitely sore. I had some sore. But you definitely want to be in shape for it, and the bumps hurt, man. Them bumps hurt, but soon your body will get used to them. Like, and it's crazy because, all right, I'm gonna share this story. But the only way I heard about this wrestling school, WWE had a live event in Nassau Coliseum last September.
Yeah, they do their Nassau events.
Yeah, and I went with my mom because she hadn't went in a long time. So I took her, and she left. She went to concessions, and it was this guy there just handing out flyers, and then she came back with it, and I looked at it. I'm like, And then it just went on from there. So.
And that's interesting how they allow that too, like just here wrestling flyers and all that. Unless it was like outside or something, I don't know.
They all in the parking lot, just leaving cars on the windshields.
Yeah. And the crazy part that people also don't realize is that yes, the ropes hurt. WWE superstars are usually oiled up, and that's to show off their physique a little bit more. It makes their body shine. So like the pec show, the arm show, and it's like they're also like sweaty or like from the shower or whatever. You're mixing oil with these ropes. They get slippery. Imagine you have to do like AJ Styles, the phenomenal forearm, and your feet slip. Like a lot of people don't understand that. It's very scary what can happen on top of like just, oh, you have to deal with the ropes. People are on the ropes 24/7 when they train. And I personally never been inside a ring. I would love to, but I've just never had the opportunity. But it's crazy how physically demanding the training itself, like your back hurts at the end of the training, your arms are like messed up, maybe you sprain your like leg a little bit, and then it's hard to walk, and then you gotta perform the next day. It's like, holy shit,
Yeah.
Like, how do they get to that? I guess that filters out the wannabes from the people who really like want to be in this business. So
Yeah.
it's actually kind of like a good way in that, like, people that just want the money and the fame want to be like Triple H and Cena versus the people that really enjoy the art. Are there any dates that you're looking to get in terms of your next show? Are there any shows coming up? Can we find you somewhere specific?
All right. So as of right now, I don't have an exact date. Hopefully soon, but as of right now, we have no dates confirmed.
Okay. Yeah, that's the other thing with independent shows. Sometimes you have like dates nonstop. Sometimes it's a pretty chill like month or whatever. So that's one thing I learned from Perfection also, is that sometimes shows are just randomly periodic. Like for him now, that's wrestling is, I think they're like once a month or something like that. He's still the champion, but
He was on Seth Rollins' school, right?
he went to Black and Brave, yes, which I heard is a really good school. But one thing he did say is if you're gonna go there, also have training ready afterwards too, because they're pretty quick with the training. So when you graduate from there, have some further training that you want to do or learn from, or another school just to like help you get, because it's not like one of those things where you get into a school and then they're already putting you in shows. Like they just teach you how the art works.
Yeah, because my wrestling school, it's called Remarkable Wrestling. Like those guys, they're so amazing. Like they took me with open arm. I'm sitting there, I'm thinking I could be like WWE main eventer. I woke up in there and then it's just a whole different feeling. Like there were some good trainers there. Everyone there that wrestles, they're great. I love them. When you walk into a wrestling school, I don't know if I can speak for every like person that's been out there, but you feel like you're at home. You know, it's like therapy. Keep all the outside noise away.
Listen, when you're comfortable where you're at, whether it's a wrestling promotion or a wrestling school, that influences you to want to keep going versus being at a toxic place or a place where maybe the instructor isn't as good or is trying to scam your money, because that's also a thing too, is people try to scam you money. Perfection had a funny ass like way of saying it, like, you don't want to go to the wrestling school with the instructor saying, oh, I used to hold Macho Man Randy Savage's coat one time, I know everything about wrestling. No, you don't. Like, go to a reputable school or like a place that you feel comfortable and you feel like you're learning. And it seems like you're learning too, because on your TikTok you had like a few clips of like you doing, I think it was a Cody cutter that you were doing. I could not do that. I'll freaking break my back. But keep up the great work on it. I look forward to seeing more shows of yours and seeing you in matches. And like I said before, send me your clip of your tag team match and all that. I'd love to see it. It's nice to be able to meet professional wrestlers and people that want to get into wrestling and just get to know them a little more. So I don't really get that insight of how it is in the ring. So it's nice to learn from people who are going for that stardom, just like yourself. I have one question for you. I'm sure you saw it already also from Jay Don't Play on TikTok. So I'm sure you had a little bit of time to think about it. What would be your dream match and which arena would you choose to have it? Now, I don't know if like he meant like you versus somebody or just like two superstars. So feel free to just do whichever you prefer.
I'll do myself. You know, dream arena. Take me to the Garden, Manhattan, New York City. Gotta be, you know.
W.
Gotta be dream match. I'm gonna say this because this is the only reason why I started watching WWE like a long time ago. You know, the Usos, they used to have the face paint.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's when I really like starting to get into it. I used to watch John Cena, but it was one day I just seen them, the two twin brothers just going off the ropes, just diving, wearing the bright orange, their shorts flapping. And I'm like, oh, okay. And then I just followed them ever since. And that's how I really got into WWE. So definitely between one of the Usos would be my dream match. Like me and myself, main event in the Garden.
You remember the whole, like, what was it, like the Samoan chant that they would do where they would hit their arm right before? That was like such a classic too. And like that was the time where I couldn't differentiate between the two. Obviously now we know who Jimmy is, we know who Jay is, but back then I did not know. That's really good. In terms of like Jimmy and which one did you say? You pick Jimmy or Jay, or either one? They both got the super kick. They both got the Uso splash. What did you think of their match at WrestleMania though?
Yeah, because I honestly, you know, like I said, just watching them, one of the main reasons I got into WWE. I like the person. It's something I always wanted. I feel like it could have been way better. Hands down, could have been better. You know, I don't know if they were trying to tell the story of like they're twins. You do the same thing after, you know, it was just one super kick, boom, another super kick. I don't know if that was the story they were trying to tell, but they said they needed more time. But I don't know. It could have been way better. But for what we got, as a fan of both of them, I was fine.
It reminds me of your TikTok POV. You're facing the Usos in a match, and it's like, like kick. That shit was mad funny. I remember seeing that too when I was looking at your stuff. And again, I appreciate you hopping on for today's episode of the Laying It Down podcast. One thing, I have like probably 2 questions left, and then we'll probably call it a night there. I asked everybody this question at the end. I want to know your answer to it, because as whether you're a wrestler, whether you're a content creator, or somebody who's just a genuine fan that loves the sport, what do you have to say to those who like to say it's fake?
For those, all right. First off, I'm gonna come straight out the gate with it. If someone feel away, they feel away. Go to Hollywood, all them studios, fake. Favorite show on Disney, Nickelodeon, whatever you watching, fake. Every Netflix movie, fake.
Wait, you telling me SpongeBob don't live in a pineapple? Damn, bro. My life's a lie. All right.
Yeah, we have a squirrel living 10,000 feet below with
with a freaking air container in her, like an air helmet, living from Texas. Texas out of place.
Texas, yeah, but wrestling is not fake. I tell you that now. So for everyone that's saying it's fake, it's not. You're just a hater and just never got into it.
Listen, at the end, I don't get it now anymore because people like as much because people know I'm serious about my content. People that I personally know would say it, but now they don't because they know how serious I've gotten with like the JLD brand and everything like that. But for those that really think they've accomplished a goal and told us something good by saying wrestling is fake, y'all didn't just like break the fourth wall or like give us this revelation. Like, we know it's scripted. If anything, they're better than regular actors because they got one take in front of thousands of people. You're right. You're freaking Robert Downey Jr. and Brad Pitt. They could just rehearse their skits and like redo their lines and stuff. You don't got time for that as a WWE superstar. We've had so many times in the WWE world where people forgot their lines live. There's freaking Randy Orton at one time. I think he acts like Sheamus in the middle of the ring. What's my line? I saw the Miz documentary. I don't know if you saw the Miz documentary from A&E.
Not yet.
It's a really good one. I would highly recommend. There's a segment in there where he talks about where he was the host of the Raw Diva Search back in like the 2000s. And he was supposed to remember the number that you could call to get there. And I think just talk about the Diva Search in general. He forgot all of his lines on live TV. You can actually watch it to this day on YouTube. He wanted to remember the number. He had it on his wrist. He was sweating so much, didn't even show on his wrist no more. So he made up some number and then went to the back. And it was one of the worst forgetting my lines kind of moments in WWE history. But Vince gave him a chance. So he ended up staying, which I was very surprised about.
Even with The Rock, I know with him and Cena, he had
he had that too, and John Cena roasted him for it, and The Rock got pissed. It goes to show, man, like people that, and like for anybody that's watching that is, I don't know if there's like people that are afraid to say they watch wrestling because of that stigma of, oh, it's fake, it's, oh, you like watching guys wrestle shirtless, you know, stupid sus shit that they try to say. It's fun, it's theatrical. The fact that WrestleMania 40 had mad celebrities watching it front row goes to show you how just fun it can be, even if it's just WrestleMania. Like, yeah, Vanessa Hudgens, who would have thought Vanessa Hudgens likes wrestling? Out of all people. Drewski was there, 2 Chainz, Lil Baby was there. There was a lot of people that were there. And these are people that the motherfuckers that say it's fake, they're the ones that they look up to them, but look at them watching wrestling. So how stupid do you look trying to tell like us that it's fake?
Makes it much better. Like when you're watching it and then you feel the emotion. Like when Michael Cole, I don't know, you probably remember, but I seen it the other day actually when someone posted Michael Cole when Cody finished the story. It was like he loved professional wrestling. Yep. Like he just emotion when he said that.
That and Samantha, like Samantha's part made WrestleMania even better than it was. Yep. That, and then when you see Roman hugging Paul Heyman and crying in the middle of the stage when Cody was celebrating, felt so bad, but it was such a happy but sad moment. Like you didn't know what to feel. And at the same time, like I don't know if you noticed when Roman's coming down the ring at that final entrance, he looked like he was quivering a little bit, like he was like ready to cry as he was coming down holding that belt in the air. It was
like Last Dance
basically, and he knew it was coming to an end, but he knew at the same time that he was going to be a part of one hell of a performance. That's probably one of the best performances I've seen in a very long time, with everybody joining. John Cena, The Rock, Seth Rollins, The Undertaker, out of all freaking people.
My question is, if Cody wasn't in WWE, who do you think would have beat Roman?
Maybe Randy Orton. They've been grooming Cody to beat Roman forever since he came back from AEW. I don't think there would have been anybody else that they would have wanted to beat Roman, not even John Cena, because John Cena was a part-timer at the time. I think Randy Orton returning would have been someone they would have highly considered. I don't think anybody else would have had the, or even have wanted to dethrone Roman because of that stigma that's going to come. I think Cody was the perfect person because he's been hyped up that much, and with the We Want Cody movement and all that. But if I had to pick, probably Randy Orton. Especially, I don't think CM Punk would have done it because he's like more in a feud with Rollins. So Randy Orton's my pick. So with that being said, again, Justin, I appreciate you pulling up today. If you guys haven't done so already, make sure you guys check the description down below in the comments. You can go follow Justin yourself on TikTok. I highly recommend it. And as we end the podcast for the night, just want to ask you, Justin, is there anything you'd like to give to our audience as your final words? Any self promo, any hookup to like your socials and stuff? Anything we'd like to finally know about you before we end it?
Like I said earlier in the podcast, Instagram, TikTok at Justin Booker. If you really want to find me like on a wrestling page, it's cool. It's called Remarkable Wrestling on Instagram. Remarkable Wrestling. That's the page. That's the family right there. That's it, man. For my
Yo, did you do that with whiteout or white marker? Because I've been wanting to do that too.
Honestly, if you want to write on it, you gotta be committed to it because this ain't coming off.
You can't see anymore, right? Because you covered it.
Oh no, I can see it. This is what it'll look like.
Oh, but it's still a little covered with the white. Okay.
Yeah.
Because like I was looking on Amazon for like maybe a marker that even if I write on the top with the white, it would not cover like the eye part, so it's still 100% visibility. But those don't exist. I guess just science and JLD don't mix like that. So, but I have the shades too. They're behind me. But,
yeah, I remember.
But I want to put the yeet on it, but then my handwriting's just shit anyway. I'm left-handed, so I naturally have chicken scratch handwriting anyway, so I'd probably have to either have Mrs. JLD do it or prepare for the worst of how my handwriting's going to be with the word yeet. It'll look like ridiculous.
This nice, man. I messed it up myself.
Ah, that looks fine. That looks good. I think that's good. It's I think it's different every time too, especially with Jay. I think he does. I don't know if he has the same shades every time, but maybe if he doesn't, he just has somebody else write it with like white out or whatever. I don't know. All right, but with that being said, guys, make sure y'all follow Justin. I appreciate everybody that's coming in. Once again, guys, this is the Laying It Down podcast. Shout out to my guy Justin for episode 7. If you want to check out some Just Laying Down merch, head over to justlayingdown.com. You can get your Laying It Down podcast t-shirts there. We got t-shirts, hats, jackets, basically everything you could think of. And once again, shout out to BuckedUp. Use code JLD20 for 20% off your order, off your supplements, BCAAs, protein, and pre-workouts. That being said, I'll see you guys on the next episode. Peace out, guys.